DG. Do you work with? I mean, probably the state government. We're talking about this that they are planning departments, the building departments. Do you work your organizations, your associations? Do you work with them?
You see, that is the issue. When you say you want to punish somebody, you must have identified that he's found wanting in the system. And from all the various cases we have studied, we discovered that at any of these stages, building can collapse. One, the person doing the design, if the design is not done properly, there will be failure. Where you are expected to construct 10-story buildings on paper, you decided to go 15 because you want to maximize profit, building will collapse. When you decide to go and site a structure in a waterlogged area where the soil is not strong, you went to do another foundation that is not captured properly, the building will collapse. Where you are expected to put 10 rods, you decided to put 8 or 7 to maximize profit, the building will collapse. Where you are expected to use 16 mm, you are using 12 mm, the building will collapse. Where you fail to supervise, quality of concrete and quality of material is not done properly, the building will collapse. Where quackery is there, giving directives, where you're supposed to put 0.6 of support, during construction, you decided to make it very far, it will sag, the building will collapse. So at each of these stages, there is collapse and somebody is to be blamed. Before you are allowed to start construction, you carry your paper, your drawings, be it mechanical drawing, architectural drawings, M&E, they call it M&E drawings. You carry it and take it to a government body. Somebody in his office comfortable is there expecting you to come. When you submit your drawing, he checks it. It's supposed to be sent to a professional to look at this drawing. Are they okay? But most of these drawings, when you give them, all they do is that go and pay the prescribed fee. They stamp, approve. Go and start your drawing. Go and start your building. You can see from day one, as you submit your working drawing, it's supposed to be cross-checked by a professional that knows his job.
And what? Sorry, sir.
Sorry.
I just want to point out something. The people in the ministries, other state or federal government ministries, are they qualified engineers? Because if they are not, and you supply, what is it called now? You give them the drawings and all that. How will they know whether this is correct or not? Are they members of your association?
We're on the same page with you. That is where the first problem comes in.
That is what the problem
There's a state that you discover that you have only 2 or 3 engineers that are qualified. And you see people that are not in that line approving a drawing that is not in their field. You can see that's the first problem, fundamental problem. This is a structural drawing that's supposed to carry about maybe 5 or 6-story building.
Okay.
When I mean structurally, you put columns, you put foundation, you put your slab, and all these half number of rods, stirrups, and all these elements that are there. Someone's supposed to check, will this thing stand? Let me do some rough checking as a professional. If I put Y16, Y20, will it be okay? But he's not conversant with that. He's not in his own field. All he does is that he stamps it, he approves it, and he allows you to go and start construction. You are doing construction, nobody follows you to see what you are doing. Are you doing the right thing or not?
Do you put this out to the government?
I have strong recommendations in all the reports. Every year we do conferences in Nibri. We do summit, we do workshops that has to do with it. We create awareness. Now, in terms of awareness, at times the client might not be knowledgeable. You might not know that this is where it's supposed to. Every material you use on site is supposed to be tested to know that this material is standard. Now, for instance, peradventure, you said you want to build your own house now. You will say, okay, employ this. The client will start complaining. This is too expensive, I don't have the money. But you have money to build. But when it comes to taking good professional to do the job, you might start complaining. So that takes up to who is to be blamed. The blame is not issue of saying who fails to do his job. That is where the thing is.
That is where the question.
The person that fails to do, the person stamping it at point 1, if he stamp it, he doesn't know what he's stamping. He has failed.
Who checks?
Yes,
checks?
That's number 1. Number 2, somebody that sit down to design, for instance, The building will be sited in Borno or will be sited in Lagos. You have never been there.
You don't even know
You,
the topography.
you don't know the topography. You just give me a phone call, say, give me the value of the soil bearing capacity. I want to design a 3-story building. You say, use 120 kilonewton, use 200 kilonewton. He just sit down without carrying out any tests. He used 200 and
The
design.
soil test and all that.
You understand? It's a problem. Now, in the process of designing, I've approved your drawing. You are working. Can't I go and see what you are doing? How many people visit? How many people carry out supervision to see what the client is doing, whether the person is doing right or not? Nobody does that. When you visit there, you see people using any quality of material they feel like. When the supervisor is coming, the quality of concrete will be rich. As they are going, they go back to their poor quality of concrete. So you discover that the quality of material is in doubt. Let's go back to even the steel that we are talking about. Okay. Steel is a factory product. We assume that the quality of steel produced in Nigeria is standard. You go to your market, buy your steel and use it. But I want to inform you that we have tested quite a number of steel in the lab. And 60% of the quality of our steel is in doubt. It does not meet the standard requirement. We're expected to have a FY, tensile property of steel of 460. We are getting 410, 415. We're supposed to get 410, we are getting 395.
So the builder may not even know that.
Thank you very much. That takes us to a body responsible to ascertaining the quality of this finished product. Standard organization, with all respect, they are trying. But at least they need standard laboratory to do that. Do we have standard laboratories everywhere to carry out tests for this quality of materials? We don't. We can assume that the steel is okay, but the steel is not okay. SON is doing it, but they need more hands. They need assistance. They need machines. They need laboratories for them to do that. So identifying blame game at this point, I feel we should be championing as what measures can we put in place to check this so that this thing will not occur again. Okay.